Hi, I'm Larry Trocha, and today I'm going to do a video discussing the pros and cons of a loping style of spin versus a trotting style of spin. I think you'll find it pretty interesting. First, let's just watch the examples of these two horses. This first horse is doing a loping spin. The second horse is going to be doing a trotting spin. Pay attention to the differences, and then I'll point out some things that I think will really help you achieve either one. Now, let me stop it for a second. So you noticed right after that spin started, I think he was probably a quarter of the way around, I used my outside foot, my left foot, and rolled it up his side. Basically, I did that because he didn't move off the rein when I touched him with the reins. Whenever we're doing a spin, we're using a rein and release type of a pressure. And if the horse doesn't move off the rein lightly or doesn't respond to it, he needs to be motivated, basically to say, hey, when I touch you with the reins, you need to respond. You need to move off of it. So when I first touched him, or I should say the second time I touched him, he didn't respond very well. So that's why I used the spur. And if you'll notice after that, I don't roll it like that anymore. It's just basically a press and release. Everything we're doing here is press and release, and we do it in time with the horse's stride. So that was pretty good. You notice I started that spin from forward motion. We do that when we're like this horse here. He's really not trained to spin. This is a cutting horse. He's had very little dry work, very little reined work done on him. And the only reason why I can get him to spin here is because I'm using my reins to position his body, basically position his body for a spin. And then I'm motivating him with my reins and my feet to get him to spin, and the timing's right. And so if you have their body positioned correctly, and then you motivate them to move off the reins and your feet, you can get them to spin. Now, let me define what a spin is. A spin is nothing but the smallest circle you can do, or the smallest circle a horse can do. So if you can lope a circle, you can lope a spin. And that's what you're seeing here. All right, notice when his front feet hit the ground, that's when I use my reins in my feet. That's the timing. Every time the front feet hits the ground, I ask him to move. Okay, let's go to the next horse. All right. So on that horse, you can see there's a big difference in the way they handle their front legs. That first horse was, doing a loping gait, and this horse is doing a trotting gait. And if you look at if you count the steps on this horse, you'll see it's 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, basically the same type of a rhythm as a trot. And the previous horse was like, a 3-beat lope, basically. So it's the same thing. I've got my hands in front of the saddle. When you're spinning, having your hands in front of the saddle is really important, because that's how you can feel the horse's mouth and get the timing right. A lot of people carry their hands back behind the swells of the saddle, close to their stomach, and seldom does that work. Got to have your hands out in front of that saddle and have your reins the correct length. Again, notice I start this spin from forward motion, and it's the same timing. Well, I shouldn't say it's the same timing. The timing's a little bit different in that every time his outside front leg is back all the way back and getting ready to come forward, that's when I apply my reins in my leg, my outside leg. And that timing is what gets him to cross over in front and get into that trotting type cadence. All right, let's watch it here. It's a series of touches and releases in time with his outside front leg. Like I say, I apply the reins in my outside leg every time that outside front leg is all the way back and getting ready to come forward. And that's what gets that crossover and that trotting type spin. You know, that Loping spin is the type of spin that you'll sometimes see in the Reined cow horse events. Actually, you know, years ago when the Reined cow horse was still a young association, most of the horses did that Loping type of a spin. And then as they got further and further along, things kind of got refined a little bit more, and you see the trotting type of spin. Now, in straight reining classes, NRHA competition, they all do that trotting type of a spin, the crossover type of a spin. That's, you know, that's pretty much mandatory these days. But anyway, like I say, I hope this helped you. If this is the type of training that you're interested in, you know, go to my website and check out the training videos and online training courses that I have there. You know, I think you might find something you like. All righty, take care.